Let me at first apologize for the latest edition of Mailbag.
You mean last Saturdays?
The last two editions of Mailbag, where we kind of wandered
far afield, but not for long.
If the rails were here, we were out there somewhere. I don't know.
That's true.
So I apologize for Scott. Secondly, if you like when we go wandering, because we kind of do that on a regular, it's kind of our thing.
Yes.
That and 1969 t-shirts. If you would like, subscribe, and follow This Is Truly News.
I bought this in the 2000 teens, pal.
Not mine, Dolores. Yeah, well, it looks like a bad tie-dye job from San Francisco. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's exactly what I ordered.
It's got a face
on it. See, there's his face.
In answer to several questions, yes, I do worry about him. Where was I now? Oh, like, subscribe, and follow This Is Truly News. And if you find a weird story, from 1969 or any time after that.
Well, my t-shirt makers.
Yeah, not any time after 2023, though.
Yeah, because
that would be sneaking
weird.
into the future. We could mess with the time continuum, and that would just be bad.
Yes, it would.
You could send those off to TITR@netradio.network.
There we go.
You bozo.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
All right.
So Tony teased.
I did.
Here's my revenge story, top of the show. When I was in high school, I knew this guy who caught the interest of a girl from 3 grades below him.
When he was what now?
He must have been a senior. Sounds like she was a freshman.
That's just, listen, son.
That's weird. That's weird.
Thank you. It won't be in like 8 years.
Right. But now?
It's weird.
And she had a massive and obsessive crush on this guy.
Uh-oh.
She would go with her mom.
Are you talking about me?
No, it was a girl. Were you a girl in high school?
I was.
Oh, well, that I believe. She would go with her mom.
I married a girl who would have been a freshman.
That's true.
When I was a senior.
Yeah. So, but later, but that was later. It was more
later. There was already another wife and several arguments, and there were lots of things that went wrong there.
Anyway, this girl would go with her mom and stalk this guy at his workplace. Everyone in the grade knew that the girl had this obsession. So one day I overheard that the guy had changed his number since she wouldn't stop calling and texting him.
I always change mine to 6.
That's right. So one day when he called me something really mean, I hatched a plan. In the next period, I asked one of his closest friends to lend me her phone because I'd forgotten mine at home. I needed to call my mother unit.
Wait a minute. If we're carrying phones,
yeah,
and a high school girl has one,
yeah,
no. I'm sorry, I forgot my left foot at home.
Right?
Exactly. No left.
So he got the phone, went to the bathroom, looked for the guy's new number on the cell phone that was lent to him, and texted another friend of mine, "This is the guy's new number. Let crazy girl have it." I kid you not, as soon as I returned from the bathroom and sat at my desk, his phone rang. He picked it up, realized it was her, threw his phone on the ground, and started cursing and blaming his group of friends. Never had a clue I was the one who did it. The lesson is treat people kindly, because if they know you at all, they can mess with your life.
You never know which person you mess with is a psychotic.
Like you and me. Well, we're not psychotic. We're just sometimes jerks enough to kind of follow through.
Yeah, that we would be.
Yeah, we've done that maybe once or twice.
If we were psychotic, we'd be in homes somewhere where they're not going to let us out ever.
They would have us in those sweaters with the arms that cross.
I have 2 killer stories. Do you want killer 1 or 2?
I'll take killer 1 for 20, Abe.
Killer whales are targeting boats near Spain and Portugal.
Are targeting boats?
Boats. B-O-A-T. Well,
whales are fishing for boats?
Sure.
Okay.
Researchers say because probably they're imitating one specific orca. The encounters betwixt boats and whale off the Iberian Peninsula began 3 years ago.
Okay.
Now, 3 years later, you know how they just put that on the screen? 3 years later.
Yeah.
Researchers have documented hundreds. I hate when they do those. Those time
Later
jumps never
that
work.
year,
Although it did, it
1789.
justified for
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, researchers documented hundreds of incidents where an orca directly approached and or collided with a boat. In the encounters, the orca's behavior generally follows the same pattern. They approach the back of the ship, they hit the rudder until successfully causing the boat to stop. And then most of the interactions have caused minimal damage, but in 3 separate cases, the whales have actually sunk some sailboats.
Oh, my.
The behavior may trace back to a single female killer whale named White Gladys. Probably because she has that white on her.
Yes.
Alfredo
She's always
Lopez.
behaved like she had so much privilege.
Alfredo, we think it might be revenge. Alfredo Lopez Fernandez, a biologist at the University of Aveiro in Portugal,
Yeah.
who is studying orcas, told
Yes.
Live Science that one leading theory, underlying theory here, for why this is happening is that White Gladys experienced a, quote, critical moment of agony, perhaps by colliding with a boat, and then took to assaulting them. Yes, apparently in his mind, orcas can spot and go for revenge. I don't understand it. He said the traumatized orca is the one that started this behavior of physical contact with boats. The killer whales, highly intelligent. They're social critters. They're known to learn and pick up behavior from each other. We don't know
And
if it's
apparently
intentional
they
or
can-
not, but they do.
And they can hold a grudge for
Who
each
knew?
other.
That's the theory. Well, one of them.
Yeah.
It's clear to researchers that the behavior is spreading and that an increasing number of orcas in this specific population are participating. Another expert told Insider that the behavior may indeed be the result of imitation, yes, but perhaps a different intent. Play.
That's exactly what I was starting to think. Maybe they're just playing with them.
Andrew Treitz is the director of the Marine Mammal Research Unit at the University of British Columbia. That's in Canada.
Mhm.
It says so right here. He said they're very tactile. They have a sense of touch.
Duh.
He said orcas are known to rake their teeth over the body of another killer whale as well as rub and bump into each other when they're playing. He thinks the interactions with boats are likely a playful activity. He also surmises that if White Gladys had indeed been hurt by a boat and traumatized, he thinks, if anything, instead of becoming, Liam Neeson with a particular set of skills, she would go out of her way to avoid boats again.
See, that's what I would be thinking
See, that was what I would do because
Yeah.
I am not Liam Neeson.
with a
He's
particular
old.
set
He's
of
very
skills.
old, by the way. In his last couple movies,
When he runs, you can tell.
yeah, right away. Yeah, it's not a run anymore. It looks like me.
Looks like James Garner.
He also, that poor man had no knees. But the Rockford Files was fun. He also said the fact that other orcas are mimicking and adopting the behavior suggests they're benefiting from it or gaining pleasure from it, indicating it's play, not some sort of malicious intent. Besides, even if all the orcas in the Iberian population, about 39 at last count, end up imitating and adopting this behavior, it is unlikely it will spread to killer whales elsewhere because
They don't interact.
they do not at all. He said they have different ecotypes, they have different foods, different behaviors. He said even the ones around British Columbia, there are 3 different pods, 3 different types. They don't interact at all either.
Wow.
So what do you think? Is it playfulness?
Oh,
Or
well,
do orcas have a particular set of skills?
I want to know this. Has any person been injured by the orca?
Not yet. And that could happen. I mean, nobody's arguing that.
The thing,
Play or not, that could happen.
right. The thing I'm thinking is once the people get dumped into the water, does the orca go after the people? If it does, then it's revenge. If it doesn't, then it's just an orca screwing around.
Hey, look, you lost something.
Your boat.
And what would happen if it is actually revenge? I mean, we don't have Scheider Shaw anymore.
Ooh, that's right. We can't do Jaws.
We'd have to send a very
And what would
very
we
old
call
Richard
this?
Dreyfuss out there. Is Richard still alive?
Dreyfus? Yes, he is. He's
We'd
very
have to send
concerned.
Richard out there alone, and that would be because he doesn't want to get on that boat either.
This story's an update.
Think we need a bigger boat.
Do you remember Hull Football Clubs? It's a rugby team.
Yeah.
They were
Vaguely.
facing Hull KR in Betfred Super League Rugby.
Well, Super League.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 33-year-old Joe Westerman, a second rower, was tackled by two players before being dumped to the ground, completely dislocating his patella in the process. His kneecap slid over to the other side of his knee. He looked.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm still in pain just thinking of it.
Right? We did this story. It was some time ago. We did it some time ago.
Now.
Yeah. He looked in huge discomfort, clutched his knee immediately as the ref was
in huge discomfort.
Yes.
I'd be bellowing like a banshee, and anyone came near me, I'd probably hurt them.
I know the one word he was saying really loudly and really long.
And it's one word. And it's not one word. It's several words combined into one.
As the ref is in the process of blowing the whistle, Westerman proceeded to quite literally pound his dislocated bone back into place with 5 firm strikes of the palm.
Hang on. I may be having an anxiety attack.
Right? It's just, my knees are so bad they hurt all the time.
This is why rugby players are not allowed to carry guns onto the pitch. Because
Exactly. A lot of guys in dojos.
one more and you're gone. Get off me.
There were a lot of friends of mine because in all my.
Let me guess. They smacked it back in play and he finished out the game.
Oh, the physio attempted to escort him from the field and he said, no, I'm fit to play. He played on. Right? This is True Really News. First reported the story in 2019. Since then, the video of Mr. Westerman pounding his kneecap back into place has garnered 1.2 million views on YouTube. However, it hit Sky Rugby a while back and ended up with 500,000 views in the first 3 days.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah, you gotta see this.
Have you seen?
You're up.
Business meetings were interrupted.
Yeah, exactly. Duke, you gotta see this.
I was expecting the update to be, and then they had to amputate the leg at the left shoulder. So
nope, apparently he's doing just fine. Thank you. That would much.
Be. And now there are a whole bunch of orthopeds going, what? I went to, and then they start saying those words as one.
Yeah, exactly. Because this could have made him a lot of money.
Killer number 2.
Okay.
Jung is a South Korean lady and a fan of true crime.
Oh.
I don't understand the attraction, but it seems to be a big deal because almost every other channel is a true crime channel, it seems.
Yeah.
She was recently arrested as a suspect in a real murder case. Allegedly, Jung stabbed and later dismembered another woman in a carefully planned out act of brutality.
Oh, my.
As to her motivation, she stated she did it, quote, out of curiosity to see what an actual murder was like.
Those are the ones I really don't get.
Oh, hang on. The 23-year-old, according to police, was a loner, a recluse, had been unemployed since graduating from high school 5 years ago. Those are generally the things that, start wondering psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
The police said that Jung followed plenty of true crime media to pass the time. Again, I don't know why. However, her interest in the subject towed or apparently crossed the ever-popular line of an unhealthy fixation. Later research revealed Jung had been planning the murder for quite some time. Her phone records, for instance, showed that she'd been looking up how to dispose of a corpse for the past 3 months. When we get on with this, we'll find she still didn't quite get that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she probably would have been caught. After she was confident in her ability to pull it off, she started looking for a victim. So what did she do? I wonder
if there are counselors for people who are doing this, or if they.
I don't know where their pages needed murder victim.
Well, they just hire somebody. It says, okay, I want to commit my first murder. I need your help. Kind of, what do I got to do? What are the ins and outs of this? There's got to be a DIY.
You fill out the paperwork.
Yeah, there's got to be a DIY channel somewhere.
She signed up on online platforms that connect parents with private tutors for their kids.
Well, that's interesting.
Wait for it. She found her victim, messaged her pretending to be the mother of a 9th grader. She told the tutor that her daughter wanted to learn English, and they arranged for the daughter to go meet the victim at her home. Plan in action. Jung found a disguise, a 9th grade school outfit. She is not very tall. And so after she made the eBay purchase, dressed in the uniform, thank you, eBay, Jung went to the victim's house and knocked on her door. And what's the lady going to think? Short person, school dress. Yeah.
Come on in.
Once in, she allegedly proceeded to stab the victim to death. She then went to a nearby supermarket after the murder to purchase large plastic bags and bleach. She then returned to the victim's home, cut the body into more manageable pieces. She packed some parts of the dismembered corpse into a suitcase, which she dropped off at a wooded area near a local river. Now, perhaps this would have been the perfect crime.
Perhaps.
1 weak link.
Which was?
Took a taxi to the area where she dumped her victim's body parts.
Oh.
Taxi driver thought something was a little off.
What with all the blood everywhere?
The weird luggage and, well, the overall behavior. So after Jung had very safely left the vehicle,
She gave her name to the cabbie. She said, "I'm Stabby McStabberson." Take me here.
Of the E Street Stabbersons. The cops soon discovered the bags Jung had dropped off. They didn't contain body parts, though, merely bloodied clothes. However, the clothes helped the police get on Jung's trail. Officers discovered some parts of the victim later when they searched her home.
She wasn't keeping...
Some body parts, yes. Makes a nice lampshade.
That's so disgusting.
Oh, hang on. Initially, she claimed that she and the victim had gotten into an argument and that she killed her in self-defense.
And then dismembered her. And then never called the police.
Actually, it was such a violent fight that she probably chopped her up while they were fighting.
Oh, yeah, that's likely to happen if you're using a scimitar or something.
Upon further questioning and, having her story fall apart quickly, Jung confessed to the cold-blooded murder out of curiosity. She's arrested. The investigation continues. According to police, she said she's sorry for what she did. We're conducting tests to see if she's a psychopath.
Based on what we know right now, I'd be willing
just
to go
from
out
this
on
part,
a limb.
I'm going to go out on that limb and say it's got to be 70-30.
Yeah, exactly. And
if she's not,
lock her up. She will not get better.
Then I'm really frightened.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, the next question, of course, is why is true crime so popular? But you're going to have to check out all the studies they've done on that to figure that one out.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.